Hey, looky here, it's me, Uncle Ricky. Welcome to another episode of Uncle Ricky's House. Look, we're gonna get to it quick today. We just gonna talk about, how fucked up is it that the one thing that is probably the biggest threat to our democracy outside of this whack-ass election that's coming up on Tuesday is maybe the one thing we have no defense against, just because of the way that of who it is and how it is, and that would be the organization known as the United States Supreme Court. Unlike its sister branches of the government, the executive and the legislative, the judiciary does not have a built-in overwatch. I mean, we have three branches of government for checks and balances so that one particular branch will not overrule the other and take charge of our democracy and eliminate the input of the will of the people. That's the way it's supposed to work in theory. But the way our Supreme Court is right now, we have created a romper room, a daycare center for a bunch of whack-ass, extremely right-wing conservatives, mostly men and one strumpet, by the name of Amy Coney Barrett. But they have the majority, and they are no longer regulating the laws as described in the Constitution. They are creating and amending new laws in concert with the trending theme towards extreme right-wing ultra-conservatism and possibly even fascism. And what makes it even worse, due to the investigation of the January 6th, 2021 riots, the insurrection riots to overturn the results of the free and fair 2020 election, because MAGA Republicans got mad that Donald Trump lost to Joe Biden. So Donald Trump, like the spoiled child that he is, says that it's all a lie, that the election was stolen from him, and he has tons and tons of proof. And all of his idiot supporters came out supporting him and creating alternate themes to support Donald Trump being reinstated as president and becoming possibly the first dictator president of the United States of America. Now, with all the shit you say about the forefathers, don't you think that one would have them all spinning in their graves, irregardless of whether they agreed with small rule or democratic rule or republic or whatever? We became a democracy, a democratic republic. That's what the forefathers built, and that's what we are. Once we change that, we are no longer the United States of America. We're something else. We are not the red, white, and blue anymore. We are something else. Don't fool yourself. Anything you thought that was real, anything you thought that was written in stone, once we become something else, everything you believed in will be altered to some extent or other. But back to the Supreme Court. Now, the Supreme Court, because it is occupied by individuals that are not elected. No judge on the Supreme Court ever ran for election as a federal judge. Federal judgeships are all by appointment. Now, the object of this is to keep politics out of the federal judiciary, to make politics, because they want federal judges, no matter what their personal, supposedly, quote unquote, personal political beliefs are, they want them to be unbiased, apolitical, when they review cases and dictate the law, hand out penalties, decide who's guilty, who's innocent. Because their decisions, in most cases, either directly become law or become supporting precedent for other laws. And that's a lot of responsibility for people that are not even the people's favorites. They are the favorites of an independent administration or the leading political figures in a particular party. To hold an office that's supposed to be apolitical, but from its very concept is absorbed in politics. Okay, we can see how that is flawed. Now you add it to the evil genius of Mitch McConnell and the bluster power politics of Donald Trump, and an opportunity to Mitch McConnell rubbing the old political crystal ball and seeing the opportunity to hold off a political appointment until Donald Trump could be elected president. Obama couldn't run anymore, and Hillary Clinton was not a popular candidate, even among the Democrats. Even with that, as much as Donald Trump was hated, it was a close election. There have always been questions about, whether there was interference from outside influences like Russia. But the thing being with the Supreme Court is that timing, and maybe pure luck or karma or bad luck or whatever you want to say, made it so that Trump and McConnell got 3 conservative right-wing justices on the bench within a period of almost 12 months. You add those to Samuel Alito, Clarence Thomas, Chief Justice John Roberts. That's almost insurmountable majority of conservatives on the Supreme Court. And now they're using their majority to influence the decisions on a lot of cases that are coming before the Supreme Court. One to do with, a lot of them have to do with January the 6th, a lot of them have to do with various things that occurred during the Trump administration. A lot of them mostly dealing with personal rights centered around the 14th Amendment over, things like how much say does a woman have in a marriage. Already took away her right to control what happens to her body. Now, also they're talking about banning contraceptives to go along with the, giving the states the right to go ahead and ban abortion, which now has fired up the Republicans in the Senate and in the Congress to attempt to make a legal, constitutional, federal, national abortion ban. That's not even a snowball. That's a fucking avalanche that didn't even wait to happen. Soon as that decision was leaked, you just ripped the heart out of just about every intelligent woman in this damn country. And the bad part is, it seems that all of the evil, all of the heinous acts are falling at the feet of Justice Clarence Thomas because of his relationship to his extremist wife, Virginia Thomas. Her involvement, allegedly, we have to say allegedly because nobody's been indicted, nobody's been prosecuted, and most of all, nobody's been convicted. But her name keeps coming up in places that are highly sensitive when you consider that she is the wife of a Supreme Court justice, an associate justice, who is sitting on the bench deciding cases and matters that are directly related to causes that she represents on a daily basis. Now, in any other court, even in the federal court system, in every state court system, even at in the state Supreme Court level, a seat of justice would be required to recuse themselves in a case like this, because you cannot deny the potential for bias when you are married to a person that is supporting part of the argument that is being presented before the Supreme Court. And then you have to throw it in with the fact that not only is Virginia Thomas a right-wing advocate, activist, Clarence Thomas has solidified. I mean, he has worn his banner as Chief Coon in charge proudly. I mean, he is proud to be an Oreo, and he makes no bones about it. Clarence Thomas sits on the Supreme Court, and he believes, and has stated this publicly on several different occasions, that he believes that the races can't live together, that they have to be separated, especially from the viewpoint of the black man, because the black man can never be all that he can be as long as he lives in a society with white people, because white people will invariably try to be in charge. This is a man that sits on the Supreme Court of the United States that decides issues like let's see, for instance, affirmative action. That's about to go out the window. Roe versus Wade already went out the window on an individual basis, because he's in charge of several federal circuit courts. He's already put in stays to slow down stuff in the Trump criminal investigation and in the Trump civil investigations. But on the other hand, he's let lower ranked underlings fall under the bus, maybe perhaps to distract away from Trump. I don't know how they, determine their self-sacrifice hierarchy. But Clarence Thomas he's not even trying to hide his bias. He's not even trying. He's telling people that, look, we're the Supreme Court. When we make a decision, y'all just gotta get used to taking it. You ain't gotta like it, you just gotta take it, because we the fucking Supreme Court. How did we create such a monster? More importantly, the better question to ask is, why are we letting such a monster exist in our country, in our democracy, when things are so very, very close to being fucked up forever? Well, I'm going to leave you with that thought, and that's just me. But I'm going to say God bless and peace out, as always, from Uncle Ricky at Uncle Ricky's house.